States. The cost of living in Columbia, Missouri is 5% lower than the national average. Their healthcare, 2% lower, and their life expectancy, 75.2 years. All right, before we get to number one, if you are interested in moving to any one of these cities or any city in the United States, there's a link for home and money in the description area below.
I bet I know where she
Real
is.
estate professional almost anywhere in the United States. All right, on
I
number
know where
one.
she is. She's on the box.
You blind son of a...
And
She's over here sleeping.
Iowa City, Iowa.
I didn't even look
Iowa City is a
there.
charming college town.
She was tucked down in the boxes and I didn't even look there, so how am I blind?
It's a college town, so you know they got a good beer scene too. This town kind of has this mix of historic charm.
It ain't that I'm blind, Scott. I wasn't that worried about it because I knew she was in the damn
So if you're
house. I just wanted to see if she decided to go back and lay down with Henry again.
Or the college, it's there for
I knew she hadn't got out because no one's been outside since your dad got home, and I'd seen her since your dad got home.
Along with that, not a bad place to live.
Was my point.
Affordable and a pretty good life expectancy. Here's the numbers. The cost of living in Iowa City, Iowa is 2% lower than the national average. Their healthcare is 9% lower. And their life expectancy is 77.5 years. But if you're looking to buy a home here, the median home price here is $280,000, and that's up 10% from last year. In today's video, we're going to take a look at what states are the cheapest states for retirement here in 2023 and what you might be missing out on or have to deal with if you're living that retirement on the cheap. Retirement might mean you've stopped working, but no matter what, you're not done paying. Retirement costs money. After I did a couple videos on retirement the last few months, I started getting requests for videos about the cheapest states for retirement. We did a series of videos like this back in 2020, and I figured since so much has changed, we need to take another look. Today, we're looking at what states are considered the most affordable for retirees. As we've all learned in past videos, if it's cheap, it's going to come with some negatives. I'll point out the negatives and what you might want to know or be aware of before you move to these states. Now, one thing I'm not going to do is bog the video down with a whole bunch of numbers and stuff like that. All these states get on this list because they have tax breaks and exemptions and low cost of living. When you look at the taxes and exemptions, those numbers change all the time, but normally they stay there in one form or another. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look.
What, little girl?
Number 10, Mississippi. That's right, the Magnolia State starts off our list at number 10. As we all know, Mississippi is dirt cheap. Their cost of living is so low, it's embarrassing. They're like the 99-cent store of states, with humidity and mosquitoes. Rent and home prices are normally well below the national average in just about every corner of the state. They also have an exemption for pension income and reasonable weather. Their winters don't get terribly cold. Their summers can't get hot and humid. It's just like Florida with fewer beaches and fewer teeth. Now, there are some problems with living in Mississippi. First of all, you don't want to live in Jackson. Jackson is the state capital, and it is by far the worst state capital in the union. On top of that, WH ranks them as the 48th worst when it comes to senior health care. So that means there's only
I know,
two
you're
other
my
states
buddy.
that have worse health care than Mississippi.
I know, I'm like the only one you actually like in this house.
Number 9, Florida. We all know
I don't know why when I torture you and pick your fleas all the time.
Beaches, sunshine, things to do, coach your grandkids back east for a trip to Disney World. Things you always got to remember about living in Florida, they do get hurricanes and mullets. Mullets are not required for men in Florida, but they are encouraged. Florida has no state income tax.
Okay, my kids rock them in Illinois, so what's the difference?
From the state. Florida ranks 9th for retirees in affordability, but they're actually 15th for everyone else. Which for a major state, that's pretty good. I mean, they've got major metro areas: Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, Miami.
No, Dip, it's like his dad. You're just now noticing it, Mom.
And their healthcare isn't the greatest. They're actually ranked 28 for seniors. And by the way, Mobile is in Alabama.
Dad, Henry's hair grows in the back. It's like his dad.
Number 8, Arkansas. Arkansas is not a state most people would move to. Said it many times before. The northwest corner of that state is a lot different from the rest of the state. The rest of the state is backwards as... And when I say backwards, I mean backwards. In 1879, in Menlo Park, New Jersey, Edison built the first high-resistant incandescent electric light bulb. At the same time, Arkansas was excited about this new thing they had called the wheel, and they were just getting used to buying it. But it is affordable to this day. Not as affordable as Mississippi. Let's just say they're the Walmart of states. Arkansas does give a credit for portions of pensions, housing through most of the state is very affordable.
Yeah, he doesn't grow his hair.
20 to 30% below the national average.
He's not a gay guy.
A lot of the areas in the state have a lot of crime. Two prime examples are Little Rock.
Yeah, he's not a gay guy. He don't do nothing to his hair.
Most dangerous list.
I go, y'all be
On top of
surprised,
that,
because
they
a lot
don't
of
have the
people
best
think I
healthcare.
do
They're
this,
actually
I do
ranked
that, I
44th
was
in the
this.
nation.
Because a lot of people think you're gay.
It's beautiful, and the winters aren't.
Or assume you are because your hair's curly and this and that.
I go, y'all don't realize
He's straight as can be. He just washes his hair a couple times a week.
I only wash my hair
Number
a
7,
couple of
the
times a
Peach
week.
State, Georgia.
That's it.
Georgia's a great place to live. Every handful of years,
If our
it seems
shampoo
like
has
Georgia
conditioner
becomes one
in
of the
it,
hot spots to move to. And why
that's
not?
when conditioner
Georgia's a
comes
pretty
into
cool
play.
state.
If
Affordability
I don't,
is just
oh
one
well.
thing that makes Georgia a great place to retire. They got decent weather, beautiful beaches, amazing cities
So
like
you don't
Savannah
like
and
getting
Atlanta, and good people.
expensive stuff,
My
I
only
don't
problem
know.
with Georgia
I
is
don't
that
need it.
humidity in the summer. Oh my god.
No, the wife's the one that needs the expensive stuff, but yes, she won't buy it.
Another bright spot for Georgia
I go,
is
y'all
they
really don't need
tax
expensive
Social
shit, just
Security.
working fast
Myself,
food.
I don't think anyone should tax your Social Security, but they do in a lot of different states. Georgia ain't one of them. Probably the biggest bummer about being a retiree in Georgia is the health care. For seniors, they're ranked 42nd in the nation.
No, it's got all the damage, the curling, the dyeing, and everything else does to our hair. It's why we need the expensive shit.
Because it doesn't have an incredibly low cost of living. It's probably one of the higher ones on this list. But
So
they
she
do have a
wish
bunch
I
of
could
tax
grow
breaks
my
and
hair that
credits
long.
for seniors and retirees. It is
She goes, how
considered
long
one
did
of
that
the most
take you? I
tax-friendly
go,
states.
you
It
don't
has no
want to know.
sales tax, no state inheritance tax, no tax on
So
Social
what?
Security income.
Last time I heard, I think Chris was 6 or 7.
Basically,
Last
there's
time
an
you
opportunity to
actually
save a
cut it?
lot of money. Being
Oh.
retired in Delaware, you probably want to have a good tax man.
Yeah, Chris was like 6.
Sure, Delaware's up there
About
on
10
the
years
East
ago.
Coast. It's going to get cold in this area during the winter, so you always have to
What?
consider that. Not as pleasant as some of the southern states.
Have you
But their
trimmed it at all?
healthcare
I
is
don't know.
not terrible. It's actually ranked 18th for seniors.
I go, I have not trimmed it.
Number 5,
And if you
Wyoming.
look at my
Wyoming is
end,
becoming more and more popular
they're not
with the
dead
retirees, especially the
or
type
split.
that like to be outdoors. Wyoming is wide open with plenty of things to do. They have a few problems. They don't have a bunch of surface
So,
water.
no
so
way.
you always got to worry about
So here,
drought,
look.
but they're pretty cheap. Not
She
Mississippi,
fucking looks, she goes,
West
"Man,
Virginia
you
cheap,
don't have
but they're
no
cheap.
damage
Better than
splitting."
Colorado, California, Washington, and
I go, I
maybe
told
Idaho.
you.
So they're fairly cheap, and they
I have no reason to cut my
state
hair.
income tax. That means your Social Security, all that good stuff
Unless I
is
wanna
free
shave a
from
ball.
state taxes. The negatives are the weather can get a little crazy and a little cold, and their
Because I
healthcare
bet your
ranks
wife would like
38th
that. I
in
go,
the nation.
no. No.
Number 4, South Carolina. South Carolina is becoming more and more
She wouldn't
popular.
like, she wouldn't even like it if you shaved her
mentioned
beard.
this
I go,
before,
hell no.
but like-
No, his wife's the country hick that wants to go to fucking.
Pissed off because I got a goatee.
Kentucky.
The whole thing.
I want the whole full southern beard.
And yes, South Carolina is
I want the hillbilly.
between Florida and New York City.
I want the country bumpkin, the hillbilly, whatever you want to call him.
Now, South Carolina has
The
a
farm boy, whatever you want to call him.
Charleston area or
That you find down in Kentucky and shit.
it gets a little pricey, but most of this state is affordable, both in housing and everyday cost of living stuff. When it comes to taxes, they do pretty good here. Now, it's not just tax-free like a lot of other states, but they have a lot of exemptions and they provide credits, portions of pensions, and retirements. South Carolina is a pretty good state. The closer you can get to the ocean, obviously it's going to get better, but it's a pretty nice state. The bummer is they do get hurricanes, and their health care is ranked 39th in the nation for seniors. Number 3, West Virginia. West Virginia could get on this list on price alone. They are right up there with Mississippi when it comes to cost of living.
You know you're gonna get on my nerves eventually, right? And then you're gonna get mad once you get on my nerves.
Cheap housing, the low cost of living, that puts the state up there, I would say, in the top 5 in the country. If you like fishing, hiking, anything like that,
I don't like
West
seeing
Virginia is a
fat-ass
solid
people on
choice
my
for
fucking
any
TV that ain't got no shirt on.
They have a ton of senior
I'm not talking about that.
If you are
Why do you only like me?
highest rates of people over the age 65 in the country. It's 21%. That's the third highest in the nation. So there's a couple different studies that rank healthcare, and West
I really
Virginia was
want to
the
know.
one that was really different on both of the studies I looked at. One ranks them 18th in the nation, and the other one ranks them as 49th. So I don't know who to believe at this point. Give you an example of some of the other ones. Mississippi on one had Mississippi at 48, but on another one had them at 46. So fairly
Says
close.
thanks,
One had
Mom.
40,
Now I gotta go
28,
figure
one
this
had
shit
40,
out.
41. Again,
You
fairly
really
close.
took you
This
that
one's
to
way
jump?
off, so I'm really not sure
You had
which
to
one
jump
to go
off
by,
of that?
but they're ranked 49th. They get some pretty bad winters, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, I got it
Summer
right.
is beautiful in West Virginia. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, it took
winter
all
has
that to
its own
jump.
type of beauty, but to get out and do things, spring and summer are amazing here. The good news is they're the third most affordable state. There's
That's what happened.
you have a really
You
good
got high and you
baby
took a beating.
retirement or pension, West Virginia might not be the best option because after
I'm thinking that's what
60,000
happened,
per
yes.
individual, they start taxing you pretty good on your retirement. So keep that in mind. But the cost of
Oh,
living
God,
here is
excuse me.
amazingly low, and so is housing. So they get on the
We're
list.
getting her high.
Number 2, Tennessee. Yes, the great state of
Can't handle
Tennessee, the volunteer state.
She's
They've
a
become
Jimmy
more and more
Boucher.
popular in the last few years. I mean, they always kind
She
of
can't
have been,
handle
but
it.
they've been picking up steam. Used to be only people went to rural towns and Nashville. Chattanooga and Knoxville are starting to get popular, so that's a plus. People that don't make good decisions move to Memphis. Tennessee has something for everyone, even poor decision makers. Even though it's popular, Tennessee is still relatively affordable. Sure, it's no Mississippi or West Virginia, but it's also no California, New York, or Oregon. They have all kinds of different credits and taxes, but they also have no state income tax in Tennessee. Yeah, they're one of those states. Now, when you look at all the different programs they have for seniors and retirees, Tennessee is one of the top 10 every single time we look at that. So it's a great place to retire and grow old. Sadly, they do have
Let's go.
which has a
Then I only got to worry about paying the stupid federal government. I ain't got to pay the fucking state.
Still, not as bad as like North Dakota.
Because there ain't no state tax.
It can get
Yeah,
cold.
exactly.
Their summer, spring, and autumn are amazing. You just
Get
gotta worry
there.
about the quality of
What
healthcare they got
exactly
there.
is
They're actually
known-
ranked 45th.
Well, the later
Saw
I
another
go,
study where
exactly
they
go.
ranked 40th.
I'm not staying. I don't give a fuck. I'm not staying. I'm
All
leaving
right,
at
we're on to
5.
number 1. If
I'm like,
you're thinking about relocating
I'm
to
down. I
another
won't even
state,
ask
we
you
have a
that.
link down below for Home and Money. That's a website that
Never
has all
mind.
kinds of tools for you if you're thinking about relocating and buying a house, like getting you in touch with a real estate
Or left,
agent,
I go,
mortgage calculator.
remember,
things like
you're not
that.
staying.
All right, on to number 1.
I go, just remember that when you want
And
somebody to stay
number
and help
1,
y'all out.
Alabama. Yep, Alabama, another
What's
southern
coming in
state,
early?
is our number 1 state for cheap
I
retirement.
go,
Their
you
cost
look
of
like
living and
we're
their
gonna
housing
ask you
is
to
just a
stay,
little
you
more
said no.
expensive than West Virginia and Mississippi, but they have
That's
a
why I
lot
waited.
more exemptions and tax breaks for
Because
retirees.
you're
So in
supposed
the
to
end,
be here. I go,
cheaper
no,
than
no, no,
both,
no, no, no,
which I know
no.
is hard to do.
Oh, we
Alabama,
switched.
in most cases, is a better state. They got a lot
5
of
o'clock.
friendly people there that love to have
Yeah,
fun.
you're supposed to be there at 5 because actually, technically, you're supposed to be off
The
today.
downside is it gets pretty hot during the
The
summer.
schedule does, shouldn't have said your name at all today.
Corinne shift at 2 and being here till close. If that's the case, she should have, when she was covering,
Today we're talking
my
about
shift
retirees
is
who
closing.
decided to pack up
She should
and
have
move
been
to a
there
new
at
state in pursuit of that
Mhm.
perfect
Instead of 5.
retirement. Whether it's a change of scenery, a more affordable cost of living, the opportunity to be closer to loved ones, or one of the countless other
I ain't
reasons
supposed to be here at no
retirement
2.
allows you to
Just
put their
Casey
home
was
state
actually
in the
supposed to
rearview
be here
mirror.
at
Millions of
5.
Americans retire every single year. Depending on
Close.
what study
That's-
you look at,
that-
the rate
that's
that
the whole
do
reason
that in
why he
another
quit.
state sits
He had
somewhere
never been
around
closest.
12 to
Mhm.
16%.
All week.
Different studies take different things into consideration, but that's the national average. In
No,
today's
he
video, we're
thought-
looking
he
at the
thought he was
states that
going
have
to
the 10
bed.
highest percentage of
And he got
retirees
pissed.
that actually did that.
And he got pissed off because you went to mids and he went to close.
I told him that's what was gonna happen.
That's not the case. I'm going to
That's
show
what
you what
Johnny
percentage
Wilson-
left and the 2 states that they most
Late
often
mid.
move to. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 10, Massachusetts. If you've ever visited or lived in the Bay
Yeah.
State, you probably
Who's gonna be the next RM? You know they're bringing another one in.
They're gonna have fun with my
Austin
he's
especially,
here.
you could be a junior associate at a law firm and still have to sell pictures of your
I don't
feet to
give a
pay
fuck.
rent.
I go walk right fuck that if
12.7%
she
of
got problems.
Massachusetts retirees.
Man, she can close this
decided
bitch.
to leave the
She can
state.
close this
Where are they
bitch.
going? Florida
Every
and South
fucking day.
Carolina. Pennsylvania as a destination was almost
I go,
equal to
oh, I
South
thought-
Carolina.
she wasn't
Come
gonna
on, Nevada. I
close.
always thought Nevada was one of those places you retire to,
Well,
especially if
open
you
or
like playing
close.
high
He goes,
stakes bingo.
well,
They have that in Vegas. At least they did years ago. I saw a sign
he
for
goes,
it, high stakes bingo. Those just don't go together.
I
High
heard
stakes and bingo.
from
But I
somebody
guess they
else,
have
it
it.
wasn't